My dreams are nightmares. How can I sleep? You got the gun against me.
What's going on, everybody? King of Dragons 5000 here, coming at you with another figure review. Today we'll be having a look at the Mattel WWE Elite Collection Wrestlemania series, Chyna. And so here we have the WrestleMania Chyna pose and out of the packaging. Before we take a look at the figure, let's actually run through her accessories really fast. Chyna does come with 2 pairs of hands. We do get a pair of grip hands. We get a pair of fist hands. We also get the WWE Women's title, which does look really nice. I'm not a fan of the dull plastic, but it is nice. And then we also get the arms for Paul Ellering, as well as Rocco the Puppet. Other than that, Chyna doesn't really come with anything else. I think a bazooka would have been a nice little accessory, because that was kind of her entrance prop, wasn't it? She always carried around a bazooka. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So what we're going to do now is take a closer look at Chyna. And so here we have a closer look at the WrestleMania Elite Chyna, and this is Chyna's second figure that we've seen, the first one being a 2-pack with Triple H, and I really can't say that Chyna has had a bad figure. I think every figure that Chyna has had so far has been good, with the exception of the fist hands. I think her fists are way too small for the body. You can alleviate that by giving her some male fist hands, but yeah, the fists that we normally get with Chyna are way too small. But that's neither here nor there. Let's actually take a closer look at the face. And like I said, Chyna has yet to have a bad figure. Even though we've only had 2 figures of Chyna, both of them are done exceptionally well. And I do love the face sculpt on this. I think it's better that Mattel waited to make a Chyna figure, because if they went with the old hand-painted faces, I think it would look so much worse, because this looks beautiful. I really love the detailing right here on her headband, especially right here on her choker. The curly hair is pretty accurate to how Chyna wore her hair at WrestleMania 17. So really liking the way this figure came out. I do remember Jax made this figure, and I think it was done, the Attire was done better, but I think the face on this one looks so much better in my honest opinion. So, having a look at her attire, she is wearing a purple top with purple bottoms. Now, the only problem I have with this is that it's not the right material. Chyna wore like a lighter purple, almost pink attire that had more of a sheen to it. It's really hard to describe it. You really have to see it in the match, and it has like the sequence effect where parts of it would reflect the light really nicely and parts of it just looked really good. They did add the silver studs that she did have, but again, there's something about the color scheme of this figure that isn't quite right, and that is a little bit unfortunate. But it's still a really nice looking figure, because Chyna does get a unique torso, which is something I think Mattel has been doing really well on for the female figures, is giving them unique torsos. Now, Chyna has a lot of unique parts that we've only ever seen on a Chyna figure, which I'm really happy that when they made Chyna, they gave her her very own bulk. So we do have Chyna with these really nice massive arms, because again, Chyna was wrestling men. She was pretty in shape, and this figure does come across really nicely. If I can say one thing that this figure doesn't do better than the 2-pack release, is that she doesn't have her fingernails painted. The 2-pack release does have red fingernail paint, which this one doesn't have any nail polish on it, so that's a little bit unfortunate. But her ring gear is very basic. You just see she has the purple top, purple shorts, and then ring boots. We don't get anything else. And again, the material isn't right. I understand why they can't do that in figure form, but there's just something about it being one color that takes away from the figure itself. If they had found a way to make it properly, like had some holofoil effect in there, I think that would make it look so much better. But it's still a really decent looking figure. And again, we do get these unique thighs that are made exclusively for Chyna, and they're just ripped and shredded. I think there are some figures right now that can benefit from this bulk, but we'll have a better look at when we get to those figures. And you can see she is starting to use the pinless joint system, which again, it really doesn't bother me if I see pins. It just makes customizing parts easier, but Yeah, that's honestly just me. And then we do have some Neo ring boots, which are different from her previous Elite release where she had the tongue sticking out. This one has her laces up all the way to the top. And I do believe she's using the same feet. So overall, Chyna here is exceptionally well done. Like I said, if I have one complaint, it's that they couldn't get that same pattern that they see right here in the headband throughout her attire. If they had found a way to get this particular pattern everywhere on her costume, I think this would look so much better. But as it stands, Chyna does have a really nice presence about her, and I really do like when a figure just brings some unique presence to the line, and yeah, Chyna does that very well. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get her compared to other figures you may have in your collection. And so here we have Chyna posed next to an Ultimate Edition's Brock Lesnar and a basic Jeff Hardy. And finally here we do have the WrestleMania Elite Chyna posed next to the Elite 2-pack Chyna. So with the comparisons out of the way, let's actually move on to Chyna's articulation, where she does have the standard elite articulation for a female figure. If you're not so familiar with that, let's actually run through it really fast. She does have a ball joint in the head, but because of her hair and her head sculpt, you don't get too much movement out of that. It does move up and down slightly, but it's not the best, so do keep that in mind. And as you would imagine, rotating it does come naturally, but the hair will get in the way, but it is soft enough that it does move when you rotate it. It's just not soft enough to allow up and down movement, unfortunately. So she does have ball joints here in the shoulder, which do go out to about that far. She does do a full 360, no problem. Bicep swivel works no problem. Single bend in the elbow, giving us 90 degrees, which does look nice. And I do believe, yes, she does have some slight rotation here at the elbow and at the bicep. She does have swivel and a hinge here at the wrist. She has a really nice ball joint here at the mid-torso. You can see she does lean side to side really nicely. Doesn't go forward at all, which is really unfortunate, but she does lean back quite a bit, so I do like that. And something I've noticed is that she sort of has somewhat of a swivel. I don't know if that's intended or if it's just the ball joint rotating and then getting stuck on the key inside, but yeah, it does have some slight rotation right here. I wouldn't try rotating it all the way because it doesn't feel like it will. Most of your rotation is going to come here at the waist. Her legs do kick forward to a full 90 degrees. Well, almost 90. It just falls just a little bit short, which is unfortunate. Goes back about that far. Outward movement is probably the most limited I've seen from a female figure by far, at least up to this point. Well, you can see they don't even get 45 degrees, which is a little bit unfortunate. She does have a thigh swivel up high. Double bend here at the knees, giving us really good range. We have a swivel here at the boot. A hinge in the ankle, which goes back and forward, works really nicely. Then we do have rocker ankle on Chyna, which I'm really happy about that. So overall, Chyna here has some pretty good articulation, some spots where I wish it worked a little bit better, but overall, really nice looking figure. So with that out of the way, guys, let's actually get her posed for my final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up this review. And so here we have the WrestleMania Elite 9th Wonder of the World Chyna posed for my final thoughts. And overall, I'm really happy with this figure. There's a lot of things to like about this figure with very little negatives. Now, I do want to retract something I did say in the review, saying that the feet are a reuse from the previous 2-pack Chyna. They're not. I looked at the feet, and this Chyna has new feet compared to the other one. So I do want to correct myself on that one. But overall, this is a really nice figure to own, especially if you're a fan of Chyna, and seeing how she's only had 2 Mattel releases, and both of them are exceptionally well done. I really recommend you pick up both of them if you have the option. But if you can only afford one and you really don't want to pay for another Triple H figure, this is a really solid release. Now, her attire could have been a little bit better if they did add some of those flares of red that you see in her headband. I think that's what's really missing from this figure. If this figure had those little hints of red and white or black, whatever it was, throughout the attire, ooh, this figure would look so much better. But as it stands, Chyna here is still a great figure. I'm not a fan of the dull title that came with her. I think the plated Vacuchrome titles look better, in my honest opinion. If you don't have a Vacuchrome title, but want a title. I guess the women's title she comes with is okay. Really don't know why Mattel went that route. Maybe it's cheaper. I don't know. Maybe it was a pandemic thing. But overall, like I said, this figure is done exceptionally well. And if you need a Chyna in your collection, either figure will do. But I'm pretty sure this one is going to be easier to get and probably more affordable at the time I'm making this video. If you want to get your Chyna, she is available at Walmart, Target, Amazon, and Ringside Collectibles, where I actually picked mine up from Amazon, which I did pay about $20 plus tax for her, which came out to about $25. It was a little bit more expensive than Edge and Shawn Michaels, but having all 4 figures from the Wrestlemania series to complete Paul Ellering, not John Ellering, Paul Ellering, is pretty impressive because I do really need Paul Ellering in my collection. With that being said, guys, I'm King of Dragons 5000. Don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and check out all my other action figure reviews as well as all my other WWE videos. Hopefully you find them informative. As always, if there's a figure you would like to see me review, let me know down in the comments, and if it's in my collection, I'll definitely have a look at it. While you're at it, check out my Instagram account for new and exciting action figure photos. And as always, ring that bell to be notified every time I upload a video. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Take care, everyone.